Well, especially in our country and along our coast, a number of illegal practices in the fishing industry tend to have harmful effects on not only the fisher folk, but also trying to do replenishing of the fish stock. And we know that among many of the harmful practices are the use of DDT and then also the use of light in fishing, especially when it comes to the use of monofilament nets as well. Now, they tend to affect the ecology, the biodiversity of fishery stock, and then also fauna, as well as the relevant issues that affect the industry. I have the beautiful lady celebrating the birthday today, who also has been on the project, looking at some of these harmful effects, and then also how the various entities within the sector are trying to find some remediative actions to be able to reverse the trend. And Judith Brown is here. Happy birthday to you. How are you as well?
Hi, thank you so much.
Okay. And then also the president for the Ghana National Canoe and Fishermen Council, Nana Jojo Solomon. Good morning to you as well.
Good morning, sir.
And then Ni Adotei Akwe, the chief fisherman and also a canoe owner right here based in Accra as well. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, but Nana, so tell us, how is this a big problem? I mean, if you give us a general perspective from the industry that you serve.
Yes, thank you very much. When we talk about chemicals and harmful methods of capturing fish, it's a very big problem, especially with an industry that looks at about 60 to 70% of animal protein in the country, affordable animal protein. Definitely, it's not anybody who can afford meat or chicken. At least 1 or 2 herrings per child per home is possible, and therefore we can also pretend over collapse of such an industry. And it also takes care of about 10% of the population who are directly or indirectly employed. So it's also secures job and then secures food, like I said. And therefore, if these things are well kept, then national security wouldn't be an issue there. So it has a rippling effect if care is not taken.
Especially for food security.
Food and job security as well.
How problematic or endemic is the issue? Where we use chemicals, we use light in fishing, petroling, and some of the things that we talk about. Is this still a problem, and how endemic is it?
Yeah, good morning to viewers, and thank you for asking this question. It's very endemic in the sense that in Ghana here, we don't have any school for post-harvest. When I mean post-harvest, the way we, at Mana, we prepare our fishes, we don't have any school. And then all of us here eat fish. So you go to the market, and if you are buying fish, fish will not tell you, I am poisoned, I am being chemicalized. So you should be very careful when you are buying me. So it's an issue, it's a problem that all of us have to speak to for the people indulging in that act to disease, because it's wrong for you to know that the fish you are bringing onto the market is poison, but because you want to make money, irrespective of how effective it will have on your fellow human being, you don't care. You are just selling the fish for people to consume. It's very bad. It's very bad.
Yeah, and Judith, when you went around, what were some of the things that you saw that you thought also related to some of these negative effects and negative impact on fishing?
Okay, so last year, for instance, I was in Mumford and Elmina, and this year I was in 2nd D. As you mentioned, the main practice is that they indulge in light fishing, the use of chemicals like DDT. Some of them use dynamite just to get the fish. Now, how does
dynamite?
Yeah, dynamite. It's something that is done in secret, and so most often you won't see, but you'd hear from sources that this is still being done. And if you go to the London beach and you see an individual who has lost a limb, most of the time it's attributed to the use of dynamite. And so these are some of the harmful practices. The thing about light is that when they put it in the sea, when they put the light in the sea, they're able to attract the fish. Now, what we are trying to prevent is the catching fish that are also juvenile. So those fish have not spawned yet, meaning that they've not reproduced yet.
But let me just stop.
Right.
We have another breaking news, and then if we can just take that breaking news montage quickly, and then we'll get to alert our viewers, because this one is coming from the Electoral Commission. It relates to the 2024 general elections. This coming in thick and fast as much as we can, because we're just getting the report. Quickly, we'll go to Crosby Anand, who give us the latest from the premises of the Electoral Commission. Relates to the 2024 presidential elections, how individuals will have to contest or not, whether they qualify or not. Latest breaking news. So the news coming in is that the Electoral Commission is reporting that it has detected a number of errors on the forms of a gentleman called Roman Father. And the Roman Father is said to be the newly introduced presidential candidate for Ekweadonko's party. And apparently they detected a number of illegalities on his form. And as a result of that, he has been disqualified from contesting on the ticket of Ekweadonko's political party. And so the Electoral Commission, they've decided to maintain the ballot by way of the way they are going to appear on the 2024 presidential election ballots for that December 7, 2024 election. And so as much as possible, we'll get the latest from the Electoral Commission offices, where we have Crosby Anand on this. And so we'll keep this on the wires. The latest we're getting is that Ekweadonko's political party will not have a presidential candidate, so to speak, but they're going to maintain that order. It is because following her demise, and we know that this, according to the Electoral Commission, they're supposed to have at least 10 days and then make sure that they also put a replacement. And that replacement, we're told, has been disqualified by the Electoral Commission. What we're also getting is that the Electoral Commission is going to maintain the order with which the balloting was done. And Crosby Anand will be speaking to us very soon. We're just going to get an overview of all that has been happening. And so the Electoral Commission is indicating that they will continue printing the ballot papers for the election. They are not going to change the positions of the various individuals who are contesting for the presidential election. And so their positions are not going to change on the ballot paper if a voter on that day, December 7, 2024, goes to any polling station and gets given that ballot paper. It is not going to change, and so they intend to notify the printing houses to continue printing the ballot as it is, and then also they'll get back. So we'll get Crosby Anand on, and then we'll get to have the latest on this. But you were speaking on some of the things that you noticed. So you were talking about dynamite.
Yes.
Very scary.
Very scary, very scary. And so they put it in the water, it explodes, they're able to get the fish all at once, and then they take them from the sea, or they use their nets to take them from the sea. There's also the light fishing, as I was talking about. And for light fishing, what it does is that when you put the light in the sea, it attracts the fish. And so it attracts both juvenile fish and mature fish. The thing about taking the juvenile fish out of the sea is that you are reducing the number of fish in the sea because they have not yet spawned, which means they've not reproduced yet. And so if you take out the fish that have
pelagic, or
The small pelagic.
yes, yes. And so when you take them out of the sea, then you are sort of depleting the fish stock. So that is a danger with light fishing, and that's the reason why the government is saying that fishermen should stop the use of light. But really, it's not really being stopped in a lot of areas. For instance, Elmina, that I went to, also Mumford, it's still persistent. You see them going on the sea with generators and light bulbs. They are very big. If you see them, they are very good. The moment you see the generator and the light bulb on the canoe, you know that then they are going on the sea with light, and they are going to use light to fish. So it's a very dangerous practice that government is trying to stop.
Nana, at the end of the day, we want to stop this, but we also have, we're told, policy directions like the moratorium that is put annually on fishing, where we have a ban, etc. Yeah. But when we talk to your folks, some are in favor and some are not. What do you say to that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's a very big constituency, right? Fishermen are about 10% of the entire population. And therefore, control is not easy. We'll definitely have divergent opinions here and there. But I think the core problem is to do with enforcement. Because the same fishers, when they arrive at Ivory Coast, when they arrive at Togo, they comply with the laws.
The moratorium, also placed there.
I mean, all the laws there, I mean, the fine laws there are complied by our own fishers. But as soon as they enter into Ghana, then it means that we need to identify what exactly is wrong with Ghana. And one of the key things is the level of enforcement. It's very, very weak, if not absent. It's very, very weak. And then again, I think political interference is also another issue. You understand? Oh, there are people...
They get influenced
absolutely
by politically exposed persons in the communities.
Exactly.
And so that also affects their decision nationally.
Yes. Otherwise, Ghana has one of the finest laws. And it's not as if the fishers don't know what is right and wrong. They do, but they are protected. You understand? In a way. They are protected.
Ni Adoteakwe, right?
Yes, sure.
Years ago, I used to travel to Freetown and then Monrovia. I met a lot of Ghanaian fishers there, and some of them told me they even go as far as Gabon.
Yeah, sure.
Is that true?
Angola.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
Angola and
yes.
other
Okay,
parts.
they even go there. Yeah. Yes, so just fishing.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, and it's all because of the season.
Sure.
All right. Why is it that they go that far when they know that they get more catch there, and it will mean that they are doing something right then we are not doing? What is that?
Yes, so like my president rightly said, our laws are not being enforced, and then political influence is another factor. They do, and then perpetrators are not being arrested, or even when they arrest them, order from above, then the person will be walking scot-free. So if some of the fishers are saying these things, they feel like, okay, so if this person can do, even it is illegal, he can do and go scot-free, why not me? So they know the right thing, but because our laws are not working, like my president is saying, that is the reason why all these illegalities are going on. And then to also add up, I think we need to do more advocacy, because the laws are there, but even the people, most of the fishers don't understand why they shouldn't do what they are doing, because they don't really understand the law and the implication of going contrary to the law. So I think we need to do more advocacy to enlighten, bring their mind back to what they are doing, that the fishing is the only source of their livelihood. So if they are trying to destroy it by their own selves, it will affect them tomorrow. So I think we need to do more advocacy.
That's very interesting. Now, Jojo Solomon, at the end of the day, we know that interventions are important. So we have CSO, NGOs all playing a role, etc. How do you situate those type of interventions in the overall objective of making sure we have improved practices in the industry?
Sure. I think they've had a very positive impact.
They have?
Oh, yes. I mean, because a lot of capacity strengthening, a lot of, advocacy, a lot of... I think so far, if you look at the last 5 years, a lot of policies have been put in place to recover the stocks. You understand? Hitherto, there was nothing like close season, even though it's been in the Act since 2002. You understand? It was under the USAID project, Sustainable Fisheries Management Project, that they pushed that agenda through. Now, under the same USAID project, We have the Ghana Fisheries Recovery Activity, GFRA, also doing a lot of, we've now been able to have a full database of how many canoes we have in the country. We've licensed, all the registered and licensed all the canoes in the country. We have about 12,000 plus canoes. So many things are going. We have the moratorium now for the next 3 years. We've closed access because we are confronted with overcapacity. There's so many canoes and fleets.
Okay. So you're not accepting new fleets?
No, not at all.
Unless you are replacing and replenishing.
Yes, no. And so I think, and now we are looking at marine protected areas, so that, like forest reserves in the Cape 3 Point area, where, we believe that is the spawning area for the fish, and therefore it's a no-go area for fishers to allow the fish to spawn and then leave the spawning grounds, matured. So all these things are being put in place. Now fishermen do not talk about superstitions, they talk about, data and science. So which for me, I attribute it to, the presence of NGOs and civil society groups, strengthening our capacity, impacting. And then I think a lot of the narratives are changing now. Even though fishers naturally, not relative to Ghana alone, everywhere are very conservative. We resist change for the fear of the unknown. You understand? And it's a human thing. With the digitalization, for instance, a lot of people are afraid. It's not they're afraid that, but they don't know what it has or is bringing on board. Even as I speak right now, as the president, I still have my suspicions about the blue economy, you understand? Because the oil and gas had its negative toll on industry. There are a lot of no-go areas in our marine space now. Fishermen cannot go there because
of the oil.
Yes, there's exploration and all these things. So we have been marginalized out there. We don't know what the blue economy is also bringing on board. You understand? Even though we've had assurances, so we are looking at it, with an eagle's eye.
Okay. And just my last question for you.
Yeah.
I interacted with some fishers from Holland and some places like that. And they say that in Holland, for example, it's mainly a marine country. So they tend to tailor the education for coastal people towards that. They don't take them away from the coast. They want them to be expert, etc. Why is it that you don't advocate that for coastal Ghana?
We have been doing that, like my president rightly said. Some years back, we don't have the means to engage the fisher force because they know that immediately you call for a meeting, some thought maybe even if you are bringing NGOs to educate them, they thought previously pictures were taken and then they use them for money, for their own self, for their own gain. So this time when you are engaging them, they fear to even come. But like my president said, GFRA and then in collaboration with government, we are not doing those engagements. So little by little, I think most of the fishers are understanding why we engage them, to educate them, to know more about what they are doing. Because most of them, fishing, you don't go to school before you start fishing. It has been a traditional thing. Your forefather was doing, and then you also know one or two things. You also indulge into that, and you are doing it. But now, like he said, things are changing now. We are in the technology world. That's why most of them are resisting to the close season, because they know July and August is when they get bumper harvest. And then today you are telling them research is saying that during that period, they should give space to the fish to lay eggs and breed. They will not understand. But through education, like we are saying, most of them are now getting what we are saying, because after the close season, they can see a change in the water. So we are doing that, but it will take time, because previously we are not doing it, and we have not started. Yes, it will take time.
Judith, as you went on the field, if there are 2 lessons you learned, what are they? And then things that we can pick from and improve as a reporter.
Okay, so I'd say that my recent visit to Sekondi showed a lot of improvement with regards to the fisheries industry and the IUUs. Over there, they're sort of trying to eradicate the use of light. And so I believe that if we're able to, as he said, educate more, these fisher folk will understand why it is dangerous to use light and other illegal means. And so that's basically the most important thing that I believe I can give out. More education would solve this problem. And even with the fishmongers or the fish processors, even the way they handle fish, kindly, there are a number of training programs that are being carried out by the Fisheries Commission, the USAID. They're trying to educate the fishmongers on how to safely handle fish such that they do not contaminate the fish for we, the consumers. And so more education is the way to go.
Well, certainly. Nana Jojo Solomon, thank you very much, the president, and then also Ni
Dotei Akwe.
Okay. Kote Akwe.
Adotei
Akwe.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for passing through, and then, of course, Njuden as well. But make sure you get the latest update of this, especially when it comes to all that we're doing to make sure we also contribute our quota to the fishing industry and improve practices. You can get that on 3news.com and then also TV3 Ghana across social media.